started raining on me as soon as I started my jog, so I had to take a minute. We're going to talk about this squirrel situation. I'm just trying everything up and praying that my Wi-Fi continues to work. I did 0.66 miles and it started to like downpour. My glasses, I'm running. The rain is like, the rain drops were cascading outwards from the speed of my running. As soon as I hit, there's like, I'm at a park. This is a huge park, beautiful park. And as soon as I hit the main road, look at the palm trees. I don't want to give too much away because y'all already know. But hello. As soon as I see the comments, now I'm going, there we go, to do that. There we go. As soon as I left out of this park and went next door to another park, it started to rain. I started filming lunges on a bench, and the rain started coming down. And I said, well, Lord, I better run back to my car. Who knows how bad this is going to be? I'm on the coast. Don't never chance it on foot. You know, you need to get to higher ground, safe ground. So that's what I did. But I'm running down the road, and the rain is just cascading down my glasses. It's not even calling for rain right now, so that's the crazy part. I'm looking to see how he even obtained the squirrel. We're going to talk about this, the squirrel. It's so chill. I'm trying to be quiet. Can y'all hear me? If I whisper, can y'all hear me? Because I have, you know, these. I'm just hoping that like my Bluetooth is working with my headphones and my phone. Because I have it hooked up. I'm going to work on lowering my voice in public because I'm loud. I don't think I've ever. Here we go. Did it kick me off? I think it's the clouds. That's what the lady said in the gift shop. She said, well, it's kind of cloudy right now, so it might be touchy. I said, honey, I'm the queen of no Wi-Fi, so it's fine. If it works, then I'll be a lot of grateful. How about that? Oh, something that came up on my dashboard that was, ugh, Kamala Harris. Look at this. This is what I got on YouTube. Look at this. So this is a email stating that they removed one of my shorts yesterday. Read this. We give all creators control over how their content shows up across YouTube. While we want to enable everyone to remix content across YouTube, we also want to provide the original content creator with adequate controls to restrict and uses. Okay, they get that option when they post it. So the way that it works is you get the option to allow remixing on your video or not. If you allow remixing, then another creator can come through, remix the video, and post it. Whoever I took the video from, I reposted, and it got over I don't remember, I think it was somewhere between 60 and 100,000 views, and it was Dick Cheney in high heels, okay? They took it down. Source video opted out of remixing. That's not true. How did I get it then? I don't know how to download nothing and do nothing with nothing. So, I don't, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with the original poster. This has to do with politics because it was talking about how shitty Dick Cheney was, in my opinion. Because that's a bold-faced lie. Whoever I got from allowed video remixing on YouTube, which is how I got the video. It's just crazy that they can just, same as everybody else. So let's talk about the squirrel because it's really sad. And In my opinion, this is a perfect case of jealousy. First of all, let me find out this guy's name because I want to tell you what his career was, because he had a full career. He's a bodybuilder, beautiful girlfriend from another country, money, living in New York, one of the most expensive cities to live in the country. I want his. So his name is Mark Longo, and he was an owner of a pet squirrel and a raccoon. Now, the raccoon I didn't see on his social media pages, but I did see the squirrel. The squirrel was pretty cool, you guys. He rescued both of them, and it says Peanut's owner claimed excessive force was used to seize his pet squirrel earlier in the week. State wildlife officials said it was illegal to own the wild animal. Mark launched Peanut the squirrel to social media fame over the past 7 years. So this guy had Instagram. I see Instagram. I only see Instagram. It looks like he had Peanut on Instagram. And the squirrel was actually an orphan. I've been trying to figure out how he got it. And it was Fred the raccoon, although there's no pictures of Fred. So Peanut was the squirrel and Fred was a raccoon. And it looks like he had domesticated these animals fully because he had had them for over half a decade. So it looks like they were seized by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. The DEC, the agency, confirmed to NBC News that the critters had been euthanized. So let me set the scene. While women and children are being punched in the face in the city of New York and cops are being assaulted by illegal immigrants, the DEC and the New York Police Department decided to go to Mark Longo's home, kick in his front door with over 10 officers, seize the squirrel, and seize this raccoon. We have wanted criminals walking the streets of New York. This is what your tax dollars are going to do. Harm animals. I mean, this is murder of animals. The state should go to jail for animal abuse, animal cruelty. These animals were in a safe, loving home. I don't care if it's a federal offense. They were in a safe, loving, controlled environment where they were safe and being taken care of. Yeah, it's a little different to have a man who is taking responsibilities for these animals and is putting them on social media. And trust me, I understand that some city officials felt like this man was using these animals to make money. I can assure you, if you watch one or two of his videos, all of those fears will dissipate. Those animals love this man, Mark, and his wife. These animals were more than taken care of. They were happy. They were thriving. If you haven't seen any of the squirrel videos, they are so adorable. You can go to Instagram and watch Mark's page. But this is what tax dollars went to do: kill animals. This is the murdering of animals. And the DEC, all they have to say is, "Oh, that animal seemed aggressive. Oh, that animal bit me." And that's in fact what they did when they were kidnapping. Peanut and Fred. Fred was the raccoon. Peanut's the squirrel. Once again, these two animals had been in Mark and his wife's possession for 7 years. When the DEC their front door with 10 officers, one of the officers made a claim that Peanut bit him. What'd you expect? You thought you was just going to roll up with peanuts in your pocket and he was going to come up to you? He doesn't know you. And listen, animals have a sense. They can feel vibes. When you kicked in Mark's door, they knew you were coming for them. Of course he bit you. I wish he would have bit you harder, more times. I hope you have to get rabies shots. It's what you deserve for ripping a perfectly happy animal out of a loving home. I don't listen. I'm from the South, and there was a girl in high school that had raccoons, honey, and she used to bring it in her sweater to school. Sometimes things need a little more help than other things, animals specifically. So you remember the women on the streets of New York getting punched in the face by strangers right now, and those people are still on the loose. Let's not forget there's hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants committing crimes, stabbing cops, raping women. The animals taken on October 30th after DEC officials learned that they were, quote, sharing a residence with humans. No, honey, those are pets. Those are family members. Creating the potential for human exposure to rabies. No, absolutely not. This man had this channel for 7 years. Absolutely not. He had him for 7 years. This was a case of jealousy. Mark got popular. He was famous. He's making good money. Got a beautiful wife. I have no doubt that they saw him and they wanted to go after him simply based on the fact of his popularity and the popularity of his animals. This is a case of jealousy. People not knowing how to mind their business when we have actual criminals on the streets running. Y'all use taxpayer monies to go kill their children. This is a married couple who had these animals for almost a decade. These are their children. Think about your dog. Think about your cat. Think about your goldfish. I don't know what you love, but whatever you love, just imagine that New York Police Department kicks in your front door and kills it. I hope that there's a lawyer out there that's going to get involved in this and help Mark and his wife, because exactly how much power they have, and you can't do anything about it. And in my opinion, this has, they can say, oh, well, we did it for this reason. We didn't want the spread of rabies. No, you did it because he refused to get rid of the animals. And so you said, I assert my power, kick in his front door and kill his animals. And that's what you did. They did the same to me. I get it. You got to live it to understand it, honey. The DEC began looking into the animal's living situation after it received multiple reports from the public about the unsafe housing. So once again, a bunch of rich people that don't know how to mind their business. He had these animals for 7 years. 7. He didn't take them out of his house. He wasn't walking around the grocery store with a squirrel in his pocket. He had them confined to his home where he loved them and took care of them. This regulation, the regulation of just living life and being able to take in animals and take care of them, this is not okay. It's not okay, and it's spreading. You think this is bad? Move to California and think that you have choices with your children. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You have no parental rights. You have no rights to even own an animal anymore. They'll kick in your front door, use taxpayer money to kill an animal. On a lie. On a lie. Oh my God, he was so cute. He was so cute. R.I.P. Peanut. Y'all, the videos are so cute. You can find them here on YouTube. So it says Mark had been caring for Peanut for 7 years, dating back to when he said he had saw the squirrel's mother get hit by a car. Over the years, the duo posted frequent videos online, and he had 500,000 followers. Do you know? Listen, I ain't even got 50,000, and I already got people out here trying my throat for nothing. Imagine what happens when you get to 500,000. How people want to come and tear you down and destroy you and your family. Don't get it twisted. This wasn't animals. These animals were family members of Mark and his wife. And he was actually, get this, this is why they kicked in his front door. So it looks like the city of New York did not want him to have those animals, clearly. Though Mark told the AP he was aware that owning wild animal without a license is illegal in New York, he said that he was currently pursuing paperwork to certify Peanut as an educational animal. That's why they did it, Mark, because you were close to succeeding and getting what you wanted. That's why they did it. because you were fighting back. They kicked in your front door and they killed your kids because you were fighting back. He was about to get certified paperwork deeming the squirrel an educational animal. And NCDEC said, absolutely not. We'll kill it before that even happens. I know that I sound cynical, but y'all don't understand. Y'all ain't been through what I've been through. Mark understands. Him and his wife understand completely. It's just sad what they have power to do, and it's highly illegal. It'd be one thing if it was a wild tiger. It'd be different if it was a bobcat or something. This is like, there's tons of them running around. The DC out here up trees, making sure all the squirrels ain't got rabies. Think about the legal aspect of spending money to get 10 to 12 people, a task force together, to go to this man's house to do this. Like, on the low end, let's just say there was 8 officers. He said somewhere between 8 and 12. Let's say there was 8 officers making, what do they make, $20 an hour? I don't freaking know. 8 times 20 for 5 hours to go kill something because it's strange to you, because somebody won't step in line. I see what all them officers look like that work for the DEC. Don't be naive. Peanut the squirrel, the pet that gained social media fame, was euthanized by New York State wildlife officials. Mark claims that excessive force was used to seize his pet squirrel earlier this week. I believe it. I believe it. I believe you, Mark. I believe your wife. I'm so sorry to y'all. I think people understand how much time and care goes into caring for animals like that. Animals that are supposed to be in the wild, sometimes they need a little bit more attention and love and feedings than other animals. These people, they made these animals their whole life. They love these animals. So it says they seized the raccoon and the squirrel because they were in a residence with humans. And they had been there for almost a decade, 7 years, with no problems, until some Karen moved into their building and had to call the DEC. It said multiple complaints, but it doesn't tell me what complaints, but I can almost bet you that she was white and middle-aged. Tell me how I know. Why don't no damn young black guys ever call the law on me? Hispanic middle-aged women call the law on me. It's in New York, in a prominent, richy, bougie area. Okay, this was an apartment complex that they lived in, and they had neighbors, and I do think that was his mistake, given the circumstances of the squirrel and the raccoon and the fact that he has a wife. They should have absolutely moved elsewhere. As you can see, that's why, he has 500,000 followers. Look at him. And then you add in a little bit about saying, no, I'm not getting rid of my animals. And what do? They kick in the front door and murder them. He was in the process of getting these animals certified as educational animals. It's just crazy. I hope he sues the hell out of them. They're not just pets. They were family members. They were a lifestyle. This man dedicated his entire life to these animals. And not only that, let's talk about the financial implications of what this means going further for his page and his life. You didn't just kill 2 animals, you killed 2 family members, and you're essentially trying to kill his content, his career, what he had going for himself. I'm telling you guys that there's multiple layers to this onion, and jealousy plays a huge part in this man's case. Absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that he refused up the animals initially to start with, I have no doubt that kicked off a series of events that he had no clue the fire that he had started. Once they know you, once they get a taste of your blood, they are going to come after you, and they won't stop till they destroy. And that's what they did. They kicked in his front door. They killed his animals. And they essentially killed his career. And they made sure to do all of this before they were certified as educational animals. You know what I mean? So it looks like he was in wildlife rehabilitation classes. Let me read you. Under state law, the only way to legally rescue squirrels is to become a licensed wildlife rehabilitator, a process that can take a few months. And to legally keep a domesticated wild animal, it also has to be registered to be an educational animal. It's in the process of doing all of this. The state, the DC, had already had numerous complaints. Mark said, that's fine. I'll do the classes that I need to do to keep these animals because they're my family. And the DEC says, nope, I'm going to serve a surprise search warrant, confiscate these animals, and then claim that one of them bit one of our workers and then euthanize them. And let me be clear, this was murder. This was not euthanization. Those animals had no signs of rabies. Those had no signs of hostility towards anyone. And first of all, here's a thought. Maybe if you wouldn't have surrounded this poor animal with 8 officers, maybe it wouldn't have bit you. I hope it did. I did. I mean, you done killed it anyways. At least it went out with a fight, right? He says, quote, we were ready to comply. We were ready to get the paperwork. We were in the process of doing that. We needed a little guidance from the DEC. I'm having flashbacks. 2016. Jumped through all them damn hoops. It didn't make a difference. They never planned to succeed. He says that he plans to take legal action over what he considered was excessive force from the raid. Yeah, and you should also sue for the murder of your children, sir. Like, listen, you don't get followers from laying on your ass and just posting pictures of squirrels. You get 500,000 followers from dedicating your life to taking care of those animals, building a relationship, and making a happy, healthy environment for them. You look at the content, and there's no mistaking that those animals were thriving. Thriving. It makes me angry because it just goes to show that they can do what they want, and they'll do it right in front of the world. They did. They did it. And people still don't get it. They still don't understand. So it says that the squirrel was actually orphaned. It says that's all that I can find is the mother got hit by a car. It says the State Department of Environmental Conservation took the animals Wednesday from Mark's home to animal sanctuary in a rural Pine City near the Pennsylvania border. The agency said it had gotten complaints that the wildlife was being kept illegally and potentially unsafe. No, you got a bunch of jealous ass neighbors that don't know how to mind their business, jealous of a nice looking man and his wife making money off of animals that they love. The squirrels and the raccoon never left property. How they got rabies? They ain't even hanging out with other squirrels. Been in the same apartment for 7 years. And why did they take it to a animal sanctuary and then later kill it? I thought that there's been an officer in the apartment. I mean, their story just don't make sense. Let's figure out where the officer was bit. Probably in Squirrel. SQ. I love how they don't even have to explain themselves. They can just say, oh, yeah, there was an officer bit and put the squirrel down. Like, there's no. Here's a Reddit with 1,000 comments. Okay, so now I'm getting a better picture. So it looks like It looks like there was like 20,000 supporters that was rallying behind the squirrel saying free peanut. That causes problems. Just your fight, just having fight in you causes problems. Somebody says they let Epstein repeatedly violate his probation terms as a sex offender, though. Was that New York? Yeah, it was. Remember that? But apparently, trained squirrels are the bigger problem plaguing society. Exactly. This world is backwards AF with all the injustices going on. This is what New York is wasting their time and resources on, confiscating a harmless squirrel, then killing it. Here's a thought. Let's pour the same energy into confiscate children from abusive homes. Yes, thank you, Jesus. I don't know who you are. Fun Fig 6579. You are an angel. Angel. So here's the euthanization story. I hope he sues the shit out of them. I mean, it's a violation of his civil rights, number one. They didn't even talk to the man. They just kicked in the front door with 20 officers. And I bet that search warrant has some sketchy background to it. See, here's the thing, you guys. You would think that they need evidence to get a search warrant. No, they don't. They just need to know a judge. You just need to know a judge and give him a call. Hey, can you sign off on this? Boom, you got your search warrant. That's how it works in small towns anyways. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Luna, Tracy, Tater. Yes, I agree, Jeremiah. If they weren't going to allow him to educate and document the animal, they should have allowed him. They should have taken it to a conservation, an animal society, a zoo, somewhere where it could have. And see, at that point, after it's been domesticated that long, it can't live in the wild. It doesn't know how to survive on its own, and it won't be able to learn. An old dog can't learn new tricks. So at that point, it would have to be rehomed because it's domesticated. So, in my opinion, taking the squirrel was never the plan. The plan was to kill it and the raccoon because they're evil. This is not about the animals. This is about jealousy. It's about control, making an example out of somebody. And I listen, here's the thing. Mark is very outspoken. You know, he's not the type of guy that's going to say, sure, yes, absolutely. He's got fight in him. That puts a mark on your back, a target on your back if you have a little bit of spirit in you. The police department, places like DC, DHS, they don't like that. They want you to comply and don't ask any questions. If you stand your ground and have something to stand for, then that causes problems. And they wanted to make an example out of this guy. They don't want people out here, wild animals, and being on social media and making money off of it, even though these animals were orphans before Mark found them. So I feel like his popularity on the internet, his backbone, the fact that he's good looking, he's got money, he lives in New York, all of these things were contributing factors in my opinion. So it says hold on, wait a second. It says 2 days after the squirrel was seized from his home in New York, Peanut the squirrel was euthanized. Why y'all wait 2 days to kill it? If he bit somebody when y'all were capturing him on the 30th, when you kicked in Mark's door and surrounded him with police, why you wait 2 days? So it says that they were euthanized and then the animals were tested for rabies. Like, oh no, it ain't just New York, Joel. I've had this happen to me. I've been twice, 2016 and currently. It ain't just New York. It's everywhere. I've been everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. I caught a skunk. Ooh, I don't know if you should keep that, Cliff. kind of dangerous. God. So it says that they are going to test the animals for rabies. We'll never know. We'll never know if these animals suppose of rabies. They'll never tell us, because that would be implying that they were wrong. Because clearly the animals did not have rabies. They were in the house. They stayed in the house. I love how the media kind of plays along with what the departments, the DEC, the police stations want to say, because it says raccoons in New York's southern tier, which includes Pine City, for more than 30 years, rabies have been found. Anywhere there's animals, there's rabies. Fun fact. Rabies doesn't discriminate. Um, I just love how when you read the media, you can see how they're narrating, building this false storyline. And I just want you to know that what you read in the media, it's the same way in court documents, police reports, social worker notes. The narrative, they can just write it and tell it and say that it's true, and there's nothing to say about it. It's just crazy. Poor Squirrel. Poor Peanut. You were loved. You were loved. And Ed too, Fred, you were loved. I wish I could have squashed you. So it looks like there's a petition on change.org, and also, of course, a GoFundMe campaign was created to return Peanut to his family as of Friday afternoon. The petition had almost 3,000 signatures, and the GoFundMe has raised $8,000. According to the center, here we go with this fake storyline. According to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, animals showing signs of rabies must be euthanized for the submission of specimen to a qualified rabies laboratory for testing. So you got to kill it to test it? I don't think that's true, Karen. I don't think that's true. Let's go see. Do you have to kill an animal to test it for rabies? That is not what I said. Capital One Animal Hospital? How did it even get that? Does an animal have to be euthanized to be tested for rabies? Oh, why? Why? All this science, we can't do better than this? It says, yes, must be euthanized to be tested for rabies. That's sad. I didn't even know that. And it says the results are generally available within 24 to 72 hours after the animal is euthanized. Oh, wait a second. It says that it's required by law for the animal to be euthanized before testing is done. There are no approved methods for ante-mortem rabies testing of animals. So it's just that we've done it for generations. What is Seizure? Procedure for animal rabies testing. So they have to collect brain tissue, so they do have to be euthanized. So it says euthanize the animal, number one. And it says the only way that they can euthanize is if a professional should immediately, if a professional should, if the animal is showing signs of rabies, which they were not. It says a professional should immediately euthanize any animal that shows sign of rabies. Collect brain tissue samples. The brain is part of the animal that is to rabies. The brain stem, cerebellum, cerebellum, I can't say it, y'all. Y'all know what I mean. The hippocampus are all required for the testing. The brain tissue should be relatively fresh and in good condition. 3, send the samples to a laboratory. The samples are then sent to a qualified rabies laboratory for testing. The most common test used to detect rabies is the direct fluorescent antibody DFA test. In this test, the tissue is stained with a fluorescent antibody and examined under a microscope. Damn, this feels like a bad episode of Yeller, don't it? I did not know that. The more you know. This is why I'm doing this. Because, listen, I learn something new every day, you guys. And I love learning. I love learning. And I'm glad that and today is 3 weeks. And I'm just glad that my attention span is coming back. But I think that it has a lot to do with my diet, too. What are the ways that we test humans for rabies? Saliva. If we can test saliva in humans for rabies, why can't we do that in animals? Saliva, sternum and spinal fluid, skin biopsy, and brain tissue in humans. That's how they test for rabies. Why can't we do that in animals? Hold on, let me figure out why. We probably can. It just would take some money and some change, and nobody wants to do that. God, nobody likes change. Nobody. Why can't we test animals' saliva for rabies? So it says saliva samples are unreliable for testing rabies in animals because of the amount of the virus in saliva varies, as the results can bring false negatives. Rabies, I don't know if I believe that, you guys. They're mammals, right? Squirrels and stuff. Ain't they mammals? Shit. So stupid. Are squirrels mammals? Or are they rodents? But they're still. Oh, Suridae family? Rodents. They're a rodent, but they're so cute. I don't even care. I still squeeze him. So the lifespan, let me read you some about some squirrels. Squirrels are members of the Scutenae, a family that includes small or medium-sized rodents. The squirrel family includes tree squirrels, ground squirrels, and flying squirrels. Squirrels are indigenous to the Americas, Eurasia, and Africa, and were introduced by humans to Australia. Lifespans of a Siberian chipmunk, 6 to 10 years, alpine, 15 to 18 years, and eastern gray squirrel, which is what this squirrel was. Well, that's what he looks like. And that's on the East Coast. That's New York. Did y'all go up to 20 miles an hour? Them gray squirrels that you see up in the trees. It says, how long is their lifespan, though? What is the life rate? Eastern squirrel. Yep, that's what he was. That's exactly what he was. I mean, Peanut weighed on him, but it's okay. How long do they live? 12, hold on. They can live up to 12 years in the wild and 20 years in captivity. Mark and his wife could have had another 13 years with Peanut. And it looks, I mean, if they only live 12 in the wild, but in captivity, maybe that's a sign that they were supposed to be maybe a little domesticated. If they're thriving in custody of humans, living as pets. And it says life expectancy after birth is only 1 to 2 years for these creatures. And Peanut's mother was hit by a car. So, and it says squirrels in the wild have shorter lives due to predictive challenges of their habitat. Common predators include hawks, owls, weasels, skunks, red foxes, and humans. And they're omnivores. They eat nuts, flowers, buds, crops, mushrooms, insects, and bird eggs. Eastern grays, which is what Mark's squirrel was, they have great memories. They stash nuts all across their territory and have the recall to where to retrieve them in order to survive. Signs of learning when completing simple brain testers and tests, and can even remember how to solve them months later. These are very smart animals. Cute. Listen, an eastern gray squirrel's life expectancy is only 1 to 2 years at birth, and the average lifespan of an adult is around 6 years. In the wild, the maximum recorded lifespan is 12 years in the wild, but in captivity, they can live up to 20 years. So that squirrel had actually already outlived its life because of Mark. Once again, 6 years. 6 years is how long it would have lived in the wild, approximately. And that's only if it would have lived a year to 2 years after its birth, when its mother was hit by a car. If it would have been able to stay with Mark and his wife, it could have lived for over 20 years. Peanut the squirrel. And they euthanized it 2 days after they kidnapped him. It's just so sad. Yes, R.I.P. the squirrel and Fred the raccoon. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, animals animals are smart, you guys, and they can feel people's energy and their vibes. And this squirrel would have not been the squirrel that it was if it wasn't happy with Mark and his wife. I wish, let's see if I can find one of the squirrel videos to show you because it was just beautiful. The way that he would jump on him from the counter to the their kitchen. Was that me? Oh, it's the door. It would be on the counter and it would jump from the counter and like jump on his back, jump on his shoulder, jump on his ass. It's hilarious. Here, we'll watch a little bit of this, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll be able to see. Maybe not. I feel like my camera's dirty. Yes. So you're probably not gonna be see out here. I want to see the video. I know you're not gonna be able to hear it. You can see the squirrel flying around. Maybe girlfriend in the back, wife in the back crying. That's not it. I mean, it's got to be damn upsetting. Here we go. He's just chilling. I want to see it flying around his kitchen. There we go. Look at him eating a whole waffle. He's got the big ass waffle. Multiple reports about. First of all, once again, jealousy. It's a killer. It's a killer. I have no doubts that his neighbor knew who he was. All of his neighbors. he would have been in a different setting, not New York, it would have been fine. That when he knew that the DC had concerns about the animals, he should have immediately got rid of his house and went elsewhere. Did it come back up? There we go. It's coming out now. What is this? 6 hours ago. It says dog attacks rarely lead. It's not going to let me read it. Asheville dog attack case. Asheville dog attack case. What is this? Mother and son make first a court appearance for deadly hold on. October. Hold on. Ooh, about time. About time. This poor man couldn't have his squirrel and his raccoon, but y'all out here with these pit bulls feeding them gunpowder and lead. And then when they maul your children's face off, you want to stand back and say, oh, well, I didn't know it was the deadliest dog on earth. Listen, I agree with Judge Judy on this. Pit bulls, not a fan. Sorry, not sorry. I've met some ones that were domesticated, but then I've also met others. Can I just say that there's a reason that they're non insurable? A judge orders a Ohio mom and her son be charged in the fatal pit bull mauling attacks be held on a $500,000 bond. So this just happened. A mother and her son who owned two American pit bulls that fatally mauled a woman and another dog on Thursday in Asheville in a condominium complex were arrested on Monday morning. I bet they weren't on no leash either, were they? I know those people too. Adam E. Withers, 35, and his mother, Susan Ann Withers, 61, of Asheville, were both charged with one count of involuntary manslaughter. Good, good. Should have been on a leash, and maybe you should have got a poodle. The reason I feel this way, let me tell you, there was two children that were killed by pit bulls. I'll never forget the case. I saw the autopsies. When you learn about these animals and the damage that they've done over decades and what they were even bred for, you change your mind. So it says there was a woman who was 73 years old. Her name was Joe Barger. Elchbarger. She was killed. She was killed by a mother and her son's pit bulls, mauled to death. Can you imagine? What a horrific death. The pair have also been charged with one count of failure to restrain vicious dogs. How did I know? Tell me how I knew they weren't chained up. Because I've saw thousands of pit bull attacks. Thousands. Go watch Judge Judy for an hour. There'll be one on there. Mother and son charged in the deaths make first court appearance. Both Withers appeared at an arraignment hearing at the Circleville Municipal Courthouse Tuesday morning via video teleconference from jail. A judge ordered them to be held on $500,000 bond. Good. I bet if they're ever freed again and they ever have animals, they'll think twice about locking them up, putting them on a leash. It's law. I can't stand people that y'all just let y'all dogs run everywhere. And I don't know about that. I don't know about that, about how they're raised. I had an English bulldog growing up, and he was very aggressive. I saw him. He was raised in a loving home. We got him as a puppy. He put my cousin back on the couch with her throat. He had his teeth his whole mouth open. My cousin, and he was raised in a loving home. So I don't know about that. The judge also ordered them to have contact with no members of the victims' families or other people involved in the case. The Withers are not allowed to own or possess any dogs as a condition of their release. They won't be able to make a $500,000 bond. I mean, maybe. Everybody said I wasn't gonna make a $500,000 bond in my den, so it's $250,000. So they also applied for public defenders, which means they'll end up going to prison. So it says this 73-year-old woman was out in her yard gardening on Thursday morning when two of the pit bulls broke free from the Withers home and began attacking people. The two dogs attacked and mauled the 73-year-old grandmother, and she was in critical condition, taken to the Ohio Health Grant Medical Center, where she died. A witness reported that a police officer shot one of the pit bulls 5 times to kill it. So let me get this right. These people had 2 animals chained up in the front yard. These animals broke free, end up killing people. Cop has to shoot it. You know, I had an aunt growing up that would get animals and neglect them. She would just chain them up outside on a line and let them be. I don't understand why people like that can have kids. I really don't. I wish that I could just tell y'all everything about this lady, but I'm not. One of the 2 pit bulls later attacked another woman walking her 2 miniature golden doodles on a trail near an elementary school. Jesus Christ. Thank God these dogs didn't come in contact with any children. Now, Pitbull killed one of the golden doodles. So these dogs didn't just kill a little old lady, they killed other animals too. Adam and Susan Withers both live in a condo on Kildo Court in Asheville. They own 2 American pit bulls that had a history of aggressive behavior. The Dispatch previously reported in October of 23, Adam was cited for failure to confine his dogs. What did I say? I said, I bet you they didn't have them chained up. They didn't keep them on a leash. And he was actually cited a ticket for $125, but it was waived. The fine was waived. 2 months later, in December of 23, he was cited for not complying with the dangerous dog restrictions. In May of this year, the county dog warden cited Adam twice for violating Ohio's dangerous dog laws and failing to confine and register the animals. So he was in complete violation of even having these animals. The fatal dog attack had residents of the condominium complex and other people in Asheville angry and upset. One neighbor told the Dispatch that those same pit bulls had allegedly attacked and killed another neighborhood dog earlier in the year. I don't know how people like this live with themselves. Like, I would feel like such a nuisance if my animals were running the streets killing things. Some people, here's the thing though. What was this? A mother and a son. So this is a case of a woman having a baby that's not responsible enough to do that. And then she teaches her baby the same disrespectful behavior that she's been living her whole life. Okay, let's be real. This is a mother and a son who are both in violation of owning animals. The city has already had numerous interactions with these people. They're fined hundreds of dollars. That fine is waived. And then a few weeks later, this poor little old lady who is doing some gardening in her front yard is mauled by these dogs and killed. Throw the book at them. You know why? Because they have already been in violation for years. 2 years, since 2023. We're going on 2025. So this, and This must be on the line somewhere or something because, oh, it says Circaville, so it's in Asheville. It irks me when I'm on the beach or I'm at a park or I'm somewhere, and there's animals running around. It makes me very uncomfortable because there's leash laws in all states, if I'm not mistaken. That's something to know. The more you know. Let's see. Are there leash laws in every state? Y'all, what are y'all doing out here? This is what I'm saying, but everybody's worried about little old me. No, leash laws vary by state, and in some states, local governments have the power to make their own rules. See, this needs to be across the board. If you and an animal, you are in public, it has to be on a leash. This is how the lines of reality get blurred. Stupid stuff like this. Like, why is this not? How many children, how many elderly people are going to have to die? So let's see. It says Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, no leash required. Yeah, I bet the dog attacks are up in those states. Oh my God. Let's see. So, leash required versus no running loose law. While some states mandate that dogs be on a leash or under the control of their owners when in public areas, others allow dogs to run loose or have municipalities enact ordinances concerning this matter. So, the cops. Mm, 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 mm. I don't understand, y'all. I don't understand. I would love to see statistics on dog attacks in certain states, ones that have leash laws and ones that do not. In North Carolina, you got to have your dog on a leash. Thank God. It'd be like, darn, I don't know, dropping your kid off at the park at 2 years old. Like, what? Keeping your dog on a leash is one of the best ways to keep your dog and other dogs and other people safe while you're outside. As a general rule, it's best to practice to keep your dog on a leash at all times when you're in public areas. I concur. However, different states have different laws for keeping dogs leashed, as well as their other ways of enforcing these laws. It is your responsibility as a dog owner to keep you, other people, and your animal safe at all times. And to ensure you can do that, you need to have it leashed. So let's see here. I'm trying to get like a state. So here we go. Some states require dogs to be leashed whenever they're away from their owners or to be under control when their owners aren't on their property. It is rare to be in a state that has this type of law. And Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee are currently the three states that require dogs to always be under control of their owners. These states do have some exceptions to this leash law. Certain dogs, including working dogs and guard dogs, don't have to be leashed while they're engaged in their designed activity or job. Michigan dog leash laws allow hunting dogs to be off leash during hunting season while they're hunting with their owners. And that's typically in wide open spaces, places that are rural. They're going to be out dove hunting and stuff. I don't know what they hunt there, but that's what they're talking about. Open fields, rural areas with lots of space. And they're hunting dogs. So it says dogs that are caught roaming beyond their owner's premises may be subjected to impoundment. Why do they say that? Like it's a car. It's not a car. It's an animal. It's a family pet. It's a family member. Some states may also consider dogs running around and not responding to their owner's voice commands as dogs are running at large. The following state have laws regarding dogs running at large. So that's unleashed. That's going off of their owner's property. That's what we're talking about. Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Delaware, District of Columbia, Illinois, Iowa, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Minnesota. Why is mine on? Oh, because we have laws. South Carolina. That's over half the states, you guys, don't have leash laws. That's crazy. Now I see why all them people be up in darn civil court. So it's county by county in North Carolina. Charlotte, which I used to live in, I knew that you had to have your dog leashed, and you do. It says dog must be leashed and under physical restraint at all times in public parks and neighborhoods. Fines for violations range from $500 to $50, and permanent seizure of the animal. Good. I feel like people that let their dogs just roam out in public spaces ought to be locked up. You don't care how it makes other people feel. And you're irresponsible as a dog owner to let your dog just run out in roads and stuff. Y'all know what I noticed this morning? I am not a morning workout person. I'm like a lunchtime workout person, maybe like 1 o'clock. I think I might start working earlier in the mornings and then like 10 a.m. to like 12, and then work out and then do something after 2, because I'm just trying to figure out what is working best for my life, you know? I'm looking. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. I was looking for that case that I was telling you about the kids that were mauled, and there's like 40 other cases that just come up. All pit bulls. 4-year-old killed by a family's pit bull. 18-month-old killed inside the family home. 6-year-old mauled to death by a family pit bull. These are all in the past 2 months. September, 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 September. Do I need to keep going? You want to? Okay. September, 4-year-old killed by a pit bull inside a California home. September, another one killed in New Jersey, toddler, by a pit bull. September, these are all this year. Let's go to the next page. So, how many children are we going to say, oh, it's all in the way they're raised? Oh my God, here's some statistics. A 13-year report that they did with pit bulls. Y'all, I'm getting chill bumps. I don't see how you could overlook something like this as a parent. 73% of dog attacks were pit bulls in a 13-year study done from 2005 to 2017. And an analysis of dog bite fatalities over a 13-period year of time identifies the breeds of dogs involved, victim age group, number of dogs involved, household factors, criminal charges, and more. What did I say a while ago? I wish there was a study. Boom. 65.6% pit bulls, 284 cases. Rottweilers come in next at 10%. German Shepherds at 4.6. Mixed breed, that would be pit bull mixed breeds. That's going to be 39%. American Bulldog, what I say? I grew up with an English Bulldog. Yoked my cousin up by the throat. It ain't in how all you raise them. We had Zach from a puppy till he passed away. And he was aggressive. He was not the typical family pet. Mastiff 3.2 and Huskies at 3%. Now, that makes up 100% of fatal dog attacks by breed. And let me just be clear, Pitbull 65.6, but also you're going to add in that mixed breed of 3.9 and add it to that because more than likely it's a mixed breed of Pitbull and other dogs. Do you see what I'm saying? In my opinion. So it says, and in the 13-year period of time from January 1st of 2005 to December 31st of 2017, canines killed at least 433 Americans, most of which are going to be children. Pit bulls contributed to 66% of these 66% of these deaths. Rottweilers are the second leading canine killer, inflicted 10% of attacks that resulted in human death. Combined, two dog breeds accounted for 76% of the total record deaths. I'm glad I found a study. Rottweilers and pit bulls. You know, I don't think that people recognize that these animals were breeded. They were made to kill. It was other dogs that were put together with the intention of making a vicious animal. Yes, pit bulls were originally bred for fighting. Pit bulls originated in the United Kingdom in the early 1800s as descendants of Old English bulldogs. What did I tell you? I didn't even know that. We had an English. He was evil. They were bred to bite and hold large animals such as bulls and bears. Jesus Christ. Y'all got these things in your house? They were made to fight bears and bulls. And y'all think family pets. Oh my God. And it says they were bred to bite and hold large animals such as bulls and bears around the head and face to go for the kill. After the Cruelty to Animals Act of 1835 outlawed bull baiting, and people began fighting their dogs against each other in a practice called ratting. Rating? In ratting, dogs were placed in a pit with rats and timed to see who could kill the most rats in the least amount of time. Some pit bulls were bred specifically for fighting, and may be more likely to fight with other dogs than other breeds. However, pit bulls breed for fighting. I love how it says pit bulls breed for fighting. We're not typically aggressive towards other people. No, we just lose, hundreds of children every year in dog attacks. What are you saying right now, Google? They didn't read that study we just read, did they? Let's go back to the study. So what we've learned so far is that pit bulls and Rottweilers contribute to 76% of total recorded deaths through animals killing humans. And it's typically children that are killed by pit bulls. They make up 66.5% of deaths when it comes to family pets killing your child. So just know when you get a pit bull that there's about a 66% chance that that animal could snap and kill your child. Just to be clear. 66, 284 of the deaths. I've never had a good experience with one. Not one. And y'all know I used to house sit, dog walk. I've never had a good experience with a pit bull. They're not loving creatures that I've experienced. So, fortunately, there's good news. Pit bull comprise only about 6.5% of the U.S. dog population. Now, this is a 63% rise in a 3-year period of time from 2010 to 2012. Around 2010, it was only about 4%. Here's the thing though. You get a lot of people that get these dogs and they mistreat them, and then they just give them to the Humane Society, the animal shelter, and then you have other families that come and adopt these dogs. I think it's great to adopt animals, but I don't think that it's okay to adopt a pit bull given the circumstances. You need to be very careful, especially if you have children in the home. It's great to adopt animals, but this is not the type of animal that you even know what has happened to it. The majority of people that get these animals, they get them for protection, and then they mistreat it. They give it to it's either taken or given to the Humane Society, at which time other people adopt the animal. Statistically, these are the animals that we're seeing harm children, maul children, kill children. I just want to be clear where these animals are coming from and why certain people get them. There are people that raise them to be mean. They want them as protection, and so they train these animals to be aggressive. They pit them against other pit bulls and teach them from a very puppy age to be aggressive. And it's unfortunate, but just know that a lot of those animals end up in shelters, on adoption lists. And I'm about to go work out, y'all. Hold on. Who's the victim of these dog attacks? Like I said, children. In the 13 data set, it shows that 48% of all fatalities were 9 and 52% were 10. Okay, let me start over. The 13-year data set shows that 48% of all fatality victims were younger than 9. Sorry, I forget that little. Younger than 9 years old. And 52% were older than 10 years old. A significant rise from the early CDC study years between 79 and 1988, where victims were older than 10 years old, only comprised of 30% of all deaths. Do you hear what I'm telling you? From 1979 to 1988, victims were only 30% above the age of 10 years old. They didn't even have children getting mauled younger than 10. It's not even a statistic. Look. Read this. CDC study from 79, older than 10, 30% of all deaths. Look at this, 13, but this is 48, and every single person that's killed now is a child. It's just whether or not they're younger than 9 or older than 10. Y'all, this is a good study. We're going to have to circle back to this. It's called the U.S. Dog Bite Fatality Breed Study. Go read it. If you think pit bulls are good, go read it. That's all the evidence I need. I already felt some type of way. Now I'm confirmed. I am, what do they call that? Affirmed. You know what that means? That means between 1979 and 1988, the majority of people that were being attacked by dogs were adults. Only 30% were children. So what, in 40, 50 years, the prevalence of people adopting these animals, whatever, getting these pit bulls, we've seen a 7% increase in children being killed and mauled by animals. I understand Judge Judy now, because that's where my distaste from those types of pit bulls come from. Watching Judge Judy. Thousands of cases I've seen in her courtroom with animals, number one, that were not leashed, and number two, dog attacks with pit bulls. I understand that a lot of people haven't been exposed to Judge Judy like that, but if you're curious, go watch one. It ain't hard to find. You can find it on YouTube. It's very common, a lot more common than I thought. Butt's dirty. But definitely what I thought it was. I'm just glad to see the numbers and kind of indicated. Now I can say, oh, well, did you know that Pitbull attacks and Rottweilers make up almost 70% of all dog attacks? And actually, it was 66% of 66.5 Pitbulls, 10% Rottweilers. So that's actually what, like 76%. That's that's the majority. I just want people to know the truth. People are like, oh, I adopted this dog. It's so sweet. Okay, that's fine. But don't leave your children unattended around that damn dog. I don't care how long you've been friends with that girl. Don't leave your children around it. That's all I'm saying. You can adopt whatever you want, but you got to have the forethought to know that you're putting yourself in a bad situation and your child. 42% of children mauled by animals are under the age of 9. The other 52% are over the age of 10. So it doesn't sound like anyone's safe. You know what I mean? Sounds like dogs don't discriminate. I mean, hell, that 73-year-old woman got killed by one, two of them, after they already killed a poodle earlier. But it's okay for people like that to have children. It's okay. I guess if it looks all right from the outside, it's all right, right? As long as it looks okay from the outside. Y'all, these bananas. Well, I'm finally about to go work out, but I'm definitely going to have to change because now it's getting hot. I need to lock this down. I forget. All right. Yeah, it's starting to get spicy out here. Where's my shorts? There's some. I don't know. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all when I was sitting on the steps over there, somebody recognized me. Some girl went walking by making noises at me. I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch these outfits. I'm going to switch into this and this short sleeve one. Yeah, she went walking by like, I don't even know what noise she made. It was like like that. And she did it like 3 times until I finally looked up. And I was talking to you guys about the dogs or whatever. And I'm trying to be quiet. But yeah, she like walks by and she's like, and I'm like, what is going on? Am I in somebody's way? Am I, and then I looked up and I'm like, oh, she recognizes me. Y'all. It's just funny because, like, I guess people think they know you because you kind of like talk about certain things on there, Y'all know how the internet is. And the craziest part is like, y'all can look at people and see how they're living their lives. You know what I mean? You can look at somebody from the outside and kind of assess, if they're going through depression, if they're sad, if they're, you know, I mean, just look at the way people live their lives. Like people that are into fitness, they're going to be up early. They're going to be focused on their diet. They're going to be focused on working out. It's just, I don't know. I face a lot of hate for stuff that anyone can do. And that's what's just kind of crazy. It's like, girl, I'm going to pray for you, Ma. uh, that's all you can do is pray for people. I used to think I was lost, and I was in a sense, but not as lost as some people, honey. It could always be worse. You could be walking around fucking with people for no reason. Imagine hating your life that bad that you'd be mean to somebody for no reason. See, you ain't got it that bad. You ain't crazy as they say you are. What if I told you that my job was to focus on other people because they focused on me so much? It's called basic psychology. That's what we're doing here. We're addressing society's issues. That's what this whole channel is. Anyone that wants to strive and change and do better should be allowed to do that. They shouldn't have society saying, no, you can't do that. You know, some people don't know about basic psychology. Some people don't recognize that the way that they were raised impacts their adult life. That's what I'm for. We can address my life, and through my life, you know, and you know, I've been through it all. Everything. Throw it at me. I already been through it. So who's life better to pick apart than mine? Somebody who's actually been through it all? Okay. It's a little bit cooler. I still have on pants, and these are, I need a extra small. These are a medium, so they fall down because big. What? I love when the bitches show up. Imagine that being that big of a bitch that you've a girl. Come on, where's another bitch? Where's another shit stain on society? Come on, please bring it. At this point, I need to like Deborah. Me too. Me too, girl. Me too. And I'm happy to be. God, I never want to be fucking white and right. You know what I mean? I ain't that person. I ain't that person. Never have been. Never will be. I'm happy being a shit stain on society. Prettiest shit stain you ever saw. It's like one of those mental dye blots. You know, like the, you know, like the blot of ink on a piece of paper, and they're like, "What is this? What do you see?" It's like one of those. That's what my stain looks like. It's a pretty butterfly. Peacock. It's a peacock. That's a nice fan. An 80s model. Oh, I thought it was. I don't know. Let's see. It just says it's like an 80s. I don't know. I don't know what that is. There was a baby attacked by the aunt's Rottweiler. That's so common. So common. I bet that it happens about once a week in every major city. And people don't even talk about that. Nobody talks about the fact that, parents are out here literally putting dangerous animals around their children. Let's not forget that statistic. 66.5%. You'd think that, I don't know, man. Call me crazy. I just see the world different, I guess. I just think that it's not okay. It's not okay. And we're talking about that's been an increase since the 70s. In the 70s, from 1979 to 1988, only 30% of children even made up for dog attacks. Now, 48 plus 52. All dog attacks are children. All children. All right, let me drink some water before I go. I'm about to be wearing it. And I don't know how I should wear my socks. Should I put them up over my pants or under? I think I should do under. I got water dripping off my chin. I'm about to go to this park and do these this stuff on the bench. I'm gonna try some like push-ups and squats and lunges and all of that. So I'm bloated. Shut up. Oh my god, I'm spilling shit everywhere. Where is the baby wipe? I just spilled this freaking stuff everywhere. I've got to stop making drinks that I don't drink. Did it again. Oh, where did that water go? Jesus. Why is this leaking? The cap is upside down, and when it's upside down, look at this. Hold on. It comes out the mouthpiece. I can't even show you. Everything's just trash. I mean, I know it was $1, but like, come on, man. Now it's sticky shit everywhere. The red one is a Walmart bottle, and the lid won't work. Once the cap's off, it won't go back on. And then it leaks out now it ain't gonna leak. First of all, I want to know why when I mix certain stuff, it coagulates like it's damn milk going bad in the sun. Second of all, why does everything have to leak? Maybe if I set that up. Jesus, please. Yes, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Well, that puts a target on your back. If you even remotely care about yourself nowadays. It's like, oh, you have confidence? Oh, let's destroy that by beating you down. Society just wants to snuff it out of you. It's because people are not happy, you know? I know that, though. I consciously know that, and I remember that when I deal with people out here. I don't hold their bad attitude against them, you know? I'm like, oh, okay. Actually, quite the opposite. When you mistreat me now, I'm like, oh, ugh. Let me pray for this person because they're obviously going through something. Like, seriously, I'm like, oh, God, they're having a rough one. You know? I'm like in the grocery store buying yogurt, and some old lady will just snap my head off. And I'm like, whoa, where is this coming from? I'm going to pray for you. I can see that you're not happy. And then I know you also don't make shit work in here. So I feel bad for you then, too. They don't pay people what they should, and that's got to, people are struggling financially. Well, maybe not where I am currently, but the majority, 60, 80, I'm sorry, 79.5% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So, all right, let's rock and roll. I hope that my phone don't die. Oh my God, it's about to. I gotta go, y'all. I'm about to get this run in, this workout in, and we'll talk this afternoon. I don't know. We might like cook lunch or something. Those tacos, or either I don't know. Yeah, probably tacos and beach time. But y'all have a good afternoon, and thank you for coming to hang out for a little while. And stay positive. Get outside and touch some grass today. Drink lots of water. And God bless. Bye, y'all. Maybe.